That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 45, Smoking Skull, and we'll be covering from March into April of 1999. The week after WrestleMania is what we'll be covering this week. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, what's going on this week?
Not much. Fantasy football drafts this week.
Yeah, fantasy football drafts are fucking taking up our time, big time.
Yeah, back to back yesterday, actually.
Yeah, so yesterday was Monday. We're recording on Tuesday this time. And we had a live draft in person at 6 o'clock, followed up by one online at 9 o'clock. So we had to hope that the first one would get done by 9 and get home, which was like a 15-minute drive to get home and get right on the computer to do the 9 o'clock draft, which thankfully only lasted an hour. I went to 10 o'clock. Then I was able to get to fucking bed so I can get to work today. So we weren't able to do our regular recording day, which it doesn't always happen on Mondays. Sometimes it is Tuesdays, but it's more of a rush to get the episode out on time on Wednesday morning when we do it on a Tuesday night. So, hey, we're putting it out there. And with that said, though, this week's episode is going to be a little different than what I alluded to last week, what I set us up for. So it's going to be a little shorter. We're only going to cover the Raw and the Heat following WrestleMania, but it's a pretty cool storyline that gets built up in that first week heading out of WrestleMania, and it's all about the Smoking Skull belt. So that's what we'll be focusing on, and we'll definitely talk about the other things going on during this Attitude Era, especially the Ministry of Darkness stuff going on with Vince McMahon. So, yeah, it'll be probably a little shorter episode than you're used to. But, hey, we're continuing the story, and it's just we got a bunch of things going on this past week. Not only just fantasy football, but I'm back to work, and my wife was back to work, and she uses the computer at work, so I wasn't able to take as many notes as I usually would. So I didn't get to watch as many shows, so that's why we're doing less content today or this week than usual. And also, JV, you have no fucking car. So that's numerous things going on over the past week.
Well, I'm supposed to have that back tomorrow, so we will see.
Oh, so that's good then. But it's just been pretty chaotic with getting shit done for this show. So, a little shorter than usual, but still good nonetheless. So that's what we have going on here. Before we get into it, though, I do want to bring up that we have the Extreme ECW livecast on the Book in the Territory Patreon feed, and the new episode is coming out today. It's episode 7, which JV and I will cover Hardcore TV, episodes 13 and 14 from June 29th and July 6th of 1993. Again, that is exclusive to the Book in the Territory Patreon.com $5 tier feed, and at this point, you know all about it, but I just want to point out that there's a new episode coming out today. Last week here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, we had episode 44. Now it was Stone Cold versus The Rock from WrestleMania 15. And again, the numbers are looking great, and you guys are listening. You're enjoying it. And we also put out an extra episode, too, on Saturday. So while this episode you're currently listening to might be a little shorter, well, you got a little bonus on Saturday. So hopefully you enjoyed that, too. And that was the watch-along for Stone Cold versus The Rock from WrestleMania 15. So, Stone Cold won the title back, kicked ass, he got that gold back, and now that leads us to the next night on Raw, which is Raw 305 from March 29th, 1999. This is live at the Continental Airlines Arena. And the reason why I say it like that is because on the graphic on Raw, they don't even point out that it's East Rutherford, New Jersey, whereas that's what they've been doing all along, is saying the city and the state. It's almost like they didn't want to recognize East Rutherford, New Jersey. Like, let's just say the place. It's a Continental Airlines Arena. It sounds like a big, important place. But it's in East Rutherford,
Much better
New Jersey.
than East Rutherford.
Yeah.
Well, now the big stadium's there now, right?
Right. That's where...
Technically.
MetLife. But they'll still act like it's New York City.
Yep, we saw that for, 2 WrestleManias now?
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, it's like Statue of Liberties and all the advertisements for East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't, something up with East Rutherford. They don't like to admit it. But anyway, we got a great opening video package at the top of that Raw that kind of shows what Austin was going through from September all the way to March to him regaining the WWF Championship. So nice little recap there from when he got screwed out of the title by Vince McMahon back in September at Breakdown. So that's a nice package to go back and check out at the beginning of Raw 305, or actually can't even say Raw 305 really anymore if I'm trying to get you to find the episode. It's March 29th, 1999, because the WWE Network got rid of all the numbers. So there's that.
We should all write in complaints.
Yeah, we want the numbers back.
Yeah. Bring back the numbers.
But the thing is, when it becomes like episode 3000 or something, they'll say the number. Like, well, let us just keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
All right, so
what if we want to go back and watch like milestone episodes like 500?
Right.
1000.
Exactly.
Gotta look up the dates. You
Yeah.
gotta use Google and shit. Just put it on your search.
Right. Yeah, because it would be so difficult to find it because it's gonna be such a random date, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Bring
April.
it all in house, WWE.
Yeah.
Bring it all in house.
Right. So this is the night after WrestleMania, and the night after WrestleMania today we know is a big deal where they bring new people in sometimes, and they bring people up from NXT. So we know it's like a big thing, a big deal, and something awesome might happen. Even though I kind of think that's a fallacy, because nothing really great does happen on these Raws after WrestleMania. You know, the people that are coming up, you basically know they're coming up, so it's not really a big deal. And nothing really good happens with these people that they bring up. So it's nothing that spectacular anyway. But I wanted to just mention this leading into this Raw the night after WrestleMania, because the year before they actually did have a surprise, and that was the return of X-Pac joining DX. So as this episode started, I wondered, I wonder if anything cool is going to happen at this Raw, but nothing really. I mean, we got a good storyline that gets created here, but it's not something big or surprising. So let's get right into
the episode of Raw itself does have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So it's actually a really good episode of Raw overall.
Well, definitely an absolutely very good episode. And we're going to cover first the Austin portion of it, of course. And it's going to start off with Austin coming out as the new WWF champion. And he's excited, and he has something to say to Vince McMahon about this WWF Championship belt. So let's take a listen to the first part of this promo for a couple minutes, and then we'll talk about it and lead into the next portion of this opening promo. Take a listen.
Can I get a hell yeah? Oh, you damn right. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin did exactly what he said he was going to do. I went to Philadelphia, checked into the SmackDown Hotel, rolled right up into room 316, and proceeded to burn that son of a bitch to the ground. To The Rock, I say this, I will give you all the credit in the world because it was one hell of a fight.
Stone Cold, baby!
Now that all the sentimental crap is out of the way, when I woke up this morning and looked past that pile of beer cans.
That's the truth. Why not?
And I saw this WWF belt sitting there, I thought to myself, that damn thing ain't worth all the trouble.
What?
I looked at that belt and I said, that belt just ain't worth all the aggravation. I looked at that belt and said, that damn thing just ain't gonna cut it.
What's he talking about? I have no clue.
So
He's still drunk.
So what I want is, Vince, I know you're back there. I know you're watching your little monitor. What I want you to do is come out here, because tonight on Monday Night Raw, I am gonna relinquish the WWF belt.
What? What? What in the hell is he talking about?
If you don't know what that means, Vince, it means I'm gonna give your little belt back to you, so bring your ass out here.
King, for 6 months? He's finally come to his senses.
I ain't gonna wait all night, Vince. I ain't got no tricks up my sleeve. Come out here and get your little belt.
King Stone Cold spent 6 months trying to climb the mountain again, and he reached it last night. What's he doing? What? This is wonderful.
Come on down.
I mean, let's face it, last night was Mr. McMahon's darkest hour, but apparently every cloud has a silver lining. This is wonderful. The owner of the WWF, Mr. McMahon, on his way to the ring. Now, wait a minute, Mr. McMahon.
All right, so Austin comes out there right from the start. He wants a hell yeah from the crowd. They give it to him. And he says, you're damn right. Austin said exactly what he was going to do. He said it earlier on the Heat the night before, or the pre-show of WrestleMania. Actually, no, it was the week before, rather, on Raw, where he said basically what he repeated here. He says he's going to go to Philly. He's going to check into the SmackDown hotel. He's going to enter room 316, proceed to burn that sumbitch down to the ground.
Such a great line.
Yeah.
That line is so good.
Right, it was great. It was great last week when we talked about it, and it's funny because everyone else recognized that it was that great, and that's why he repeated it again. It's like, I'm going to use that again.
It's creative.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
And he does give Rock credit. He says, I give Rock all the credit in the world because it was one hell of a fight, which it truly was. He says he woke up this morning, and I looked past the pile of beer cans, and I love Jerry Lawler. You can hear it on the audio. He jumps in and says, that's the truth. So just imagine Austin laying in his bed with like fucking 30 beer cans just laying all around. And he says he looks up and he saw that WWF belt sitting there on the dresser. And he said to himself, that damn thing ain't worth all the trouble. I looked at that belt, ain't worth all the aggravation. And I looked at that belt and I said, that belt just ain't gonna cut it. And at this point, you're thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? Why is he saying this belt's worth nothing? He just fought so hard for it. So he calls Vince out. He says, Vince, I know you're back there because tonight I'm going to relinquish this WWF belt. It means I'm going to give you your little damn belt back. So come out here and go get your damn little belt. And it's very important that you notice that he's saying belt. He's not saying championship. He's not saying he's relinquishing the championship. He's saying, I'm going to relinquish this belt. So Mr. McMahon comes out. He pops his head out.
Apparently he doesn't like using that word too, right?
Yeah, McMahon doesn't like belt. But for this storyline, it's important that they distinguish between the championship and the belt. So McMahon pops his little head out. And the look on his face is like, ooh, wow, what? What's going on?
It's funny.
So
very funny.
McMahon's questioning this, of course. So let's listen to what McMahon has to say about, you giving me the belt? What's up with that? So this goes on for about 4 minutes or so. Actually, a little longer than that, about 5.5 minutes. So this one's a little lengthier, but damn good shit here. So take a listen to it, and then we'll get right back into it after that.
You're going to relinquish that WWF belt.
Well, trust me.
Yeah, right.
Trust me. Come in here, no tricks. I'm going to hand you your little belt back. Just like that.
This is too good to be true. I'm speechless. King, listen, this place is sold out. Yeah, they're speechless too. That's good. You look around this arena, I mean, people can't believe it.
Easy.
Be careful.
I'm not going to hurt you. Come on in and get your little belt.
What do you think, Michael? Is he really going to do it? I don't know. He can't be serious. Oh, please. We're not being silent anymore. And he is not an a-hole.
There you go.
He got it! Stone Cold turned over the WWF Championship belt
Austin,
to the boss.
I knew one day you'd crack under the pressure. I just wish I could say thank you.
Don't let him in the corporation, whatever you do, Mr. McMahon. What a wonderful sight that is!
But I can't.
I can't believe this.
Whoa, wait just a minute.
Uh-oh.
Come back here, it ain't gonna be quite that easy. I got a little footage I'd like to show you on the big screen up here. Hit the damn footage.
This is what it's about, right here. You don't have it anymore. It's mine. It's mine.
There's only one place that this championship belt is going, and that's above my fireplace, on my mantle, in one of my homes.
I told you could have that belt back. But you can rest assured, Vince, I am the World Wrestling Federation champion, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about that. Stone Cold Steve Austin ain't through, not by a long shot. Now what I'm telling you, to go call one of your little butlers, go down to Greenwich, Connecticut, and bring that damn belt back, because that's the one that I want.
Greenwich. Stone Cold wants the custom-made belt. The belt he had custom-made when he won the WWF title.
And if you don't go get that damn belt, you got 2 hours, son. If you don't get my damn belt, I'm going to beat your ass in front of everybody here.
What? Mr. McMahon has 2 hours to come up with Stone Cold's belt.
Well, first of all, let me remind you of something, and that is the championship belt that you want is on my mantle. And I must be honest with you. Every morning when I get up and walk by that mantle, it reminds me that I own a piece of Stone Cold. And the answer is no. You're not gonna get your championship belt. And there's no reason for me to give you that belt. It's mine.
Or if you want me to beat his ass, give me a hell yeah.
Wait a minute, no.
Wait just a moment. I'd like to remind you, you may be the WWF champion, and it sticks in my craw, yeah. But you lay one hand on me without sufficient physical provocation, and you know what the contract reads? You'll be fired on the spot.
Right, I remember. Well, he is right. That's what the contract states.
It's up to you, Austin.
Hit me with that other piece of footage I got.
What? That's last night at WrestleMania, King. Last night at WrestleMania.
All right, cut the footage. I believe that is sufficient physical provocation, so that means...
Oh, no, he's right. Oh, no, wait a minute.
That means within a 24-hour period, your ass belongs to me, and according to my little watch right here, it means you got 2 damn hours to get my belt back, or I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry.
Damn rattlesnake.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
That's it, King. That's it. It's in the contract. Mr. McMahon promotes the rattlesnake. At WrestleMania last night, I smell a corporate butt ticket. And King, this one is perfectly... Wait a minute. Mr. McMahon just hit the rattlesnake with the championship belt. Mr. McMahon just hit the rattlesnake with the belt. What in the world is he thinking about?
Vince, you know I can be a real nice guy sometimes, or I can be a real mean bitch. So you got it, son. We're going to do things the hard way. 2 hours, your ass belongs to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Not only did Mr. McMahon physically provoke Stone Cold Steve Austin.
All right, so McMahon is kind of suspect about the whole situation here and wondering, what do you mean? You're going to give me the belt? So Austin's like, yeah, come in here. No tricks. No tricks, McMahon. I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to hand you a little WWF belt.
You're little. I love that. It's so funny.
Yeah, he always uses that just to, like, accentuate it as being, like, worthless to him.
Insignificant, worthless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Austin's holding it out to McMahon. McMahon grabs it. McMahon can't believe that he has it. He says, Austin, I knew one day you would crack under the pressure. I just wish I could say thank you, but I can't. Then McMahon raises the title above his head, all happy. So Austin's like, whoa. Ain't going to be that easy. I got some footage up here on the big screen. So Austin plays footage from Breakdown all the way back in September, which is good from the opening packages that they started out with that. About starting it off in September at Breakdown. And now in this opening skit, they use it again. So Austin plays footage from Breakdown when McMahon walks away with the Smoking Skull Championship belt. And he says, you don't have it anymore. It's mine. It's mine. This belt is going on my mantle above my fireplace in one of my homes, which we talked about all the way back in a few months back when we covered Breakdown. And McMahon is all excited to have the belt, and he's going to keep that Smoking Skull belt. So Austin tells McMahon that he can have this belt. He can have the belt, but rest assured, I am still the World Wrestling Federation champion. There ain't a damn thing you can do about that. Stone Cold ain't through. Not by a long shot. Another one of his favorite little lines to use. And he says, what I'm telling you is to go call one of your damn little butlers and go to Greenwich.
Butlers. I immediately thought of Alfred.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Oh, who else would you think of?
Yeah.
Got to be Alfred. But he calls Greenwich. Go to Greenwich, Connecticut, and bring back my damn belt. Because that's the belt I want. So that's awesome. It's just a cool idea to be like, yeah. In the fact that they remembered, like, oh yeah, we took the belt from him, and he's gonna want it back. He's not gonna want this stupid WWF Championship belt. He wants his custom belt that he got back after all the way back when he got it at WrestleMania. He only had the big one for a little while, and then he switched right to the Smoking Skull. So he wants that back. Austin tells McMahon, you have 2 hours to get here, or he's going to beat his ass in front of everybody. So he said, first of all, the championship belt you want is on my mantle. This is what McMahon's saying. Every morning when I wake up, it reminds me that I own a piece of Stone Cold, and the answer is no. You're not going to get that belt back. It's mine.
Such a dickhead.
So Austin's ready to kick his ass, but Vince, and this is another good little added thing that they remember that they used for continuity purposes, is that Vince reminds him that you can't lay a hand on him without sufficient physical provocation, or you're fired. And which to me brought back the whole idea leading up to the cage match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where Vince was going down to Texas to intentionally provoke him to hit him. So that should have been sufficient enough for Austin to kick his ass, because that's sufficient physical provocation, right? Getting in his face, saying, hit me.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
100%.
So they missed the boat on that, but
Yep.
they do work it in pretty well here. So Austin's going to show more footage, and he shows McMahon stomping Austin from WrestleMania from the night before. So Austin says, I believe that is significant physical provocation. But Austin Austin did retaliate at WrestleMania, so he took advantage of getting hit because he went on to hit McMahon after that. He stunned him.
It's weird that this rule gets treated as like continuing, like it never ends. Like once the rule's broken, it's not just like gone.
Right, they just keep it going. Yeah, it should be over with. Like, I hit you, you hit me, contract's over.
Yeah.
But no, it keeps going
why
on.
is this dragging out?
Right.
Yeah.
So now Austin says, because you hit me, I still have 24 hours to hit you, which he already did, which I just said.
Which is a new rule they just introduced.
Right, they just add that shit
Raw
in.
305. That was never mentioned before. That it was like within 24 hours he could beat his ass. Like,
Yeah, so he says,
oh fuck.
so at this point it's been 22 hours since that because of when it happened on the show. So he says he has 2 more hours to make it 24 hours. So in 2 hours you need to come here with my belt or I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. So, okay, yeah, they're just adding to it. But I thought it was pretty cool that they were like, all right, there's 2 hours left in the 24-hour window. So I'm going to kick your ass within that 24 hours, even though I already kicked your ass. So that it's pretty interesting, pretty fun, regardless. Is that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so,
yeah. But if you look at it through like a microscope,
yep.
It's kind of ridiculous too.
Yeah.
And a lot of plot holes.
Yeah, sure is. And then Austin gives, the only reason why I say this, and we hear it all the time, but he says, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. I feel like this is the exact same clip that you took to use for our opening. It sounds like the exact audio. Obviously, it's Austin who's saying it, and he says it pretty much the same all the time, but it sounds like the same clip, just the sound of it. If that makes any sense to you. It sounds exactly like what our clip is. Anyway, so I just wanted to point that out. But McMahon, who is going to lead to another plot hole here, is he's just going to nail Austin with the WWF Championship belt. And then he's going to run away. And that happens at 12 minutes and 39 seconds into the show. McMahon gets on the top of the ramp. He pegs Austin off and runs behind the curtain. So my thought was, all right, you just nailed Austin, so that should give him now an additional 24 hours on top of the 2 hours that he has left. Because you just hit him again. You just provoked him again.
Yeah, so this is when the clock should reset.
Right, should reset there, and he gets another 24 hours to kick your ass.
You know, if they can make up rules in the middle of the show, we can make up rules 20 years later on a podcast.
Yeah, that's
It's fair.
Yeah. So Vince gets on the phone because he's got to get that belt. So he gets on the phone with Stephanie McMahon making her major debut on Raw. She had been on Raw a couple times as just like in the background, not saying anything at all. But now she's starting to get involved in the story because we know with the ministry, and talked a little bit about that last week. But here she is now taking a phone call from Vince McMahon, actually talking to Vince McMahon to call the house and to get his belt sent down to East Rutherford, New Jersey. So this makes sense too because the belt's in Connecticut and they're in New Jersey. So you could realistically get there within 2 hours on a plane if they get a jet or something. Shane tries to tell his dad, you can't let Austin control you. You can't let him get away with this. Vince tells him he better watch himself. I'll do this my way. So Shane's already trying to get involved in this, which is going to play into the story later. So Austin's waiting for his belt throughout the night, and McMahon has been distracted all night because he's dealing with Stephanie missing, which we'll talk a little bit about we'll talk a lot about it when we get to the attitude update section of our show. So Vince McMahon's dealing with Stephanie missing. Okay, this also goes back to the idea that McMahon brought up last week that Austin and The Undertaker are working in cahoots with each other. Because that would make sense. Because now The Undertaker is making it so that McMahon can't get the belt for Austin, and Austin's going to kick McMahon's ass. So it does kind of seem like they're working together in this situation. Which doesn't really amount to anything. But it does go along with what McMahon was saying the previous week. So maybe they were going to go in that direction and then change their mind about it. So as the show goes on, we get to 1 hour and 15 minutes and 17 seconds, and that brings us to the point where Austin's belt arrives at the arena, and Shane McMahon interrupts Vince McMahon, who's talking to Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock had previously, just before this, found Stephanie McMahon, and Vince McMahon is all happy with Ken Shamrock. And
Shamrock was hunting, looking for her
throughout the whole episode.
Maniac, all proud to be picked. I will find her. very shitty. Like
yeah,
acting.
wicked shitty.
Yeah, but I'm like, this, someone could have done something with this in like 1988.
But so McMahon is telling Shamrock that he's indebted to him for life or whatever, and Shane comes running in, and it's like, yeah, you can't do this. So Vince says, I don't care anymore. He's just happy to have Stephanie back. He has the belt. He says, Shane, just give the belt to Austin. Just give it to him. The night's over. Just end this. Give him the belt. So Shane's not really happy about that. McMahon walks off. Shane's going to tell Ken Shamrock to get the Rock. He says, this night is not over. I don't think so. So Shane McMahon has other plans for that Smoking Skull Championship. Okay, so Shane McMahon is going to have a promo with The Rock at the end of the episode at 1 hour, 28 minutes. That'll go until the final minute of the show, 1 hour and 32 minutes. And we got a little kind of build up here to this. They had X-Pac versus Triple H the night before. And actually, it was right after, there was a X-Pac versus Triple H match. And Shane's going to come out of hiding, and he gets in the ring and tells Austin that he's not Vince McMahon, he's Shane McMahon, and he's not going to get the belt. Shane McMahon tells Austin that the belt is now around the waist of The Rock. Mm-hmm. So The Rock makes his way out with the Smoking Skull Championship, even though it's not around his waist. It's over his shoulder. The Rock comes out there. He has a promo for the last couple of minutes that begins at 1 hour and 28 minutes. The Rock claims he laid the smackdown on Austin's candy ass. He calls the Smoking Skull title a piece of trash. And then Austin's music's going to hit at 1 hour and 29 minutes. Austin and The Rock are going to go at it at ringside. Austin lays The Rock out, tosses him over an out stable. They get into the ring. Shane tries to get involved. He gets stunned, of course. The Rock clotheslines Austin, stomps him and nails him with the Smoking Skull belt. So Austin's now been hit twice with the championship belt tonight. And then Triple H is going to head out.
Two different belts.
Yeah, with the Big Eagle and then the Smoking Skull. Triple H heads out because he is now a member of the corporation. And he joined the corporation the night before at WrestleMania when he turned on X-Pac during the match with Kane. And then, so he reunited with China. So he begins to stomp on Austin, and I thought this was interesting because this is where you can really see it. This is the beginning of Triple H on his rise to the main card. In previous weeks I had said he's like the tier right below, and he would be the next one to be on the rise. I mean, obviously, looking back, we already know that was going to happen, but if you're watching it through the lens of that time, you could see it. You could see it happening. That Triple H was the next one in line after The Rock stepped up to be a major guy. Is the next one they would bring up is Triple H. So here he is making his debut on the main stage, attacking Austin. And it was ironic, I thought, that Triple H begins his rise on the main card the same night that Stephanie McMahon makes her first appearance on Raw, first major appearance on Raw. So from that point, both of them rise together, basically, and they'll have a lot of storylines together too, not too far off from now. Mm-hmm. So that's where they fall in love here in 1999. So the rest of the corporation heads down and they attack Austin. Big Show is going to come out and he's going to clean house and he's going to help Austin. So Austin and Big Show kick them all out. Austin stuns Shamrock. Big Show's going to chokeslam Triple H as the show goes off the air. The Rock leaves with the Smoking Skull Championship. So now once again we have a storyline where The Rock has now stolen Austin's title. And we previously had Austin stealing The Rock's title one time. So they've done this back and forth a couple times now, where they're taking each other's championship. It seems like every time Austin wins the belt, they take the physical belt away from him. So he's still chasing. Right, so he's still chasing, exactly. So he's still going after, even though he's actually the champion. It just makes for better TV that he has to go after it. Yeah,
it's more interesting to be the protagonist and have some adversity.
Right,
chasing something.
Right, it's not like it's where he's Hulk Hogan, where he's the champion and just beats everybody. So after the show goes off the air on the network, you get Extra Attitude. So just basic recap here. We've seen this over and over again, but it's a little better here because now you get different people involved, like Triple H, Big Show. So Austin's going to stun Triple H. Austin gets a steel chair and stands in the ring with Big Show. The Corporation's going to stand at ringside. Triple H gets back on the apron. Shane tells him to get down. The Corporation starts to back away up the aisle. And Austin calls for his beers. He grabs the mic. He tells The Rock to come back in the ring. Drink a beer with me. The fucking typical setup. This happens. This is like the third time it's happened. And probably happened numerous other times that they didn't show on Extra Attitude. But they go out there. They shake. Austin gives them the beer. And they crack it open. And the same thing you said a couple weeks back, JV, with the quote that you got from The Rock, is exactly what happened. Clothesline, duck, stunner. Let's go home.
Let's go home.
Yep. So that's what it was. And that's what that's probably how often they did it, that The Rock says that today. Clothesline, duck, stunner. Let's go home. That's cool.
Yeah. It's funny how we just brought that up and
now they actually did it, right?
We've seen it. Yeah.
So
we're going to be aware of it more now.
Yep, and it's just a cool quote that he has to go with it.
Yeah, yep.
You know, he's one that is good with his words, so it makes sense that he would come up with something clever to say about it. Mm-hmm. Austin stuns The Rock again, of course, and his legs go kicking up onto the ropes. Big Show is like awkwardly trying to grab The Rock for the chokeslam like right away, and Austin's like looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
Get your shit together.
I'm stunning him, asshole. You're not chokeslamming him right away.
I'm the star, dumbass.
So Shane gets tossed into the ring, and then Big Show chokeslams Shane. So Big Show and Austin share a beer with each other. And then The Rock still, after getting his ass kicked, coming back down to the ring, he still leaves with the Smoking Skull Championship belt. You would think Austin would be like, I just knocked his ass out. Let me take my belt back. But no.
Really.
Doesn't happen. All right, so that now brings us to Heat on April 4th, 1999, and this is taped the next night on March 30th, 1999. This is in Long Island. This is Uniondale, New York. And we're going to have a continuation of this storyline. It's going to be with Shane McMahon, The Rock, and Triple H in an opening promo. So Shane McMahon's going to come out first. And he's going to say that he took things into his own hands last week on Raw after his father told him to just give Austin the belt while he was distracted with Stephanie's abduction and then her return. So Shane says he's in charge tonight because Mr. McMahon is in Greenwich with Stephanie, taking care of her. So Shane talks about how he's undefeated. He's going to retire the European Championship title. That's cool. Because I was wondering, how long does this fucking belt go on for? Like, it's been a shit show ever since it came into being. So he says it is no more, but it won't be for long because they'll bring it back in the summer. And from there, it'll last until 2002. And that's when it'll get unified with the IC title. So the IC title will basically absorb the European title. So they do away with it for a few months here. Which is pretty good, I guess. Just fuck that title. There's other storylines you can do. You don't need that title. There's enough belts. All right, so we got a promo now. So they're in the ring there. And Triple H is going to cut a promo about DX. Shane McMahon's going to take the mic. He points out that Austin is his top priority. And he came looking for his title last week. And he said, you didn't get it back. In your words. It's It's not.
Yeah.
So he
put some respect in that.
Fucked it up. So Shane tells Austin that at Backlash there will be a rematch for the WWF Championship. So they're announcing that it'll be The Rock versus Austin at Backlash. So there we are. We got the next big match for Austin. It's a rematch. Okay, so like I was just saying moments ago, it's been a common occurrence where the belt's taken away from Austin. He has to chase it back, even though he's the champ. Shane McMahon announces that he's going to be the special guest referee for this match at Backlash, and Backlash will be in Providence, Rhode Island, on April 25th. And I did not go to that because, again, it's 1999, and I think I was just about to get my license, but yeah, I didn't have my license, and I probably wouldn't have been able to go to Providence anyway at the time. So yeah, I did not go to that one either. I've gone to shit. I didn't go to shit for a long time.
Same here.
All right.
I go in spurts. I'll go I go in a bunch, and then I'm like, slow down.
Because it becomes like the same thing over and over again. It feels like it anyway.
Yeah.
I also feel like
I'm the same way with like sporting events too. Like I'll go through runs where I'm like, I'll go a season where I just go to like a bunch of Celtics games or something, or even like Red Sox, and then I'll go like a whole year. I just like,
I don't need to go. Yeah.
That's what it is. Like I don't need to go.
I feel like something really good has to happen, or I don't even remember anything.
No, I hate
and
that.
then it's like,
and it's not because I drink.
When we go to wrestling, I know both of us, we don't even drink when we go to wrestling events.
No, I don't.
I just think it's weird to go to a wrestling event and drink because there's all little kids around. Baseball's a little different. The kids are around, but it's expected. Yeah, it's different.
It's like, you're the asshole that brought a kid.
Right, that'd be like.
It's different at wrestling.
Yeah, with wrestling, it's like if you were going to like Ringling Brothers, going to the circus, and you were getting drunk. If you're going to like Disney on Ice and you got drunk there, that's like what getting drunk at wrestling is.
I don't have problems though. But indie shows, smaller shows, I'll drink at those.
I would, because that's a different type of crowd. Yeah. Or maybe if it was like WrestleMania, I would, but. A SummerSlam next year, maybe I would at that, but not Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. I don't think I drank much when I went to WrestleMania 28 because it was like fucking 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, and it's just not even worth it.
Yeah.
And because you just sweat it all out. All right, so let's get back to this promo. So now The Rock's going to take the mic, so take a listen to this, and then we'll get back to it after that. So take a listen.
Now, Stone Cold, you came looking for something last Monday on Raw, and I believe it is around The Rock's shoulder right now. Your property. Now, Stone Cold, last Monday, you tried to get your property back, but oh no, in your own words, it did not happen. But guess what, Austin? You're going to get your shot. Oh, yeah. You want your property back? At Backlash, I am now ordering a rematch between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the most coveted championship in the World Wrestling Federation. The crowning jewel, the World Wrestling Federation Championship, is happening between The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin at Backlash. And you know what, Rock? A match of that magnitude deserves a little something extra special. It deserves a special guest referee. The special guest referee for the main event at Backlash between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin will be none other than me.
Oh, come on. Wow, Shane McMahon has named himself the special guest referee for the Rock Austin rematch.
I think I'm smelling what the People's Champ is cooking.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock says, you want, and you want. Well, The Rock wants something too. The Rock wants exactly what is rightfully his, and that is the WWF title. Now, some say that The Rock is an icon. Some say that The Rock is immortal. And some say that The Rock is already legendary. But all say The Rock is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best damn WWF champ there ever was. Stone Cold Steve Austin come Backlash. The Rock is going to take his big right hand and he will commence to kick your Rudy Poo. Oh, The Rock smells it. You're begging for The Rock to be the people's champ again. Stone Cold, The Rock, Stone Cold, the Brahma Bull, the Rattlesnake, Backlash, The Rock guarantees to prove to you, and the millions, don't do that, and the millions of The Rock's fans, exactly why The Rock is the great one, exactly why The Rock is the chosen one, and come Backlash, when The Rock regains his WWF title, the only sound you're gonna hear is the sickening sound of The Rock shoving his foot in and out of your monkey ass if you smell. Damn it, this ain't sing along with the champ. The great one says it by himself. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Now, for those of you out in TV land, I ever forgot about you. Oh no. Because as you know, my family does everything for the fans. So tomorrow night on Raw, I have a special present, a special gift for the Big Show, Paul White. Big Show, you want to stick your nose in corporate business, in my business? Guess what? Tomorrow night, I'm going to stick my newfound authority right down your throat.
All right, so I think The Rock cut a hell of a promo there in just a few minutes. He only had a few minutes mic time, but I think he killed it. Says, The Rock says, you want what you want when you want it. The Rock wants what is rightfully his, which is the WWF title. Some say that The Rock is an icon, immortal. Some say The Rock is already legendary. Just him saying those lines is like, wow, he's already like, those are all names that he becomes associated with. Being an icon, being legendary.
Yep.
He says, but all say The Rock is the best damn WWF champion there ever was, which many people would argue he's up there as being definitely from this time period. People that watched during this time period from 98 through 2001, if that's all they ever watched, that's what they remember as The Rock being one of the best WWF champions.
Yeah.
Especially now because he's a big movie star, they'd be like, oh yeah, he was one of the best WWF champions. They remember him as that.
And there's all truth to that.
Yeah. So The Rock says, come Backlash, The Rock will commence to kick your Rudy Poo. The crowd starts to chant it. He says, oh no. He says, you people are begging for The Rock to be the people's champ again, which was fucking awesome because they are wanting you to be the people's champ again. They don't want you to be a heel. They want to just chant along with you and root for you. But he's got to maintain his heel. He's got to maintain his character. And he's great with doing that, too. He says, you're begging The Rock to be the people's champ. Not going to happen. Then they start to chant Rocky Sucks. So he got them to change their tune right away. So they get the Rocky Sucks going out there.
Master.
So he has them like in the palm of his hands. It's fucking great. And then he says, this ain't sing along with the champ. The Rock does it by himself, which he's been saying a few times. But just a great little promo. It's a lot of the same stuff he always does, but it just shows his control of the crowd in the promo, where he could just, on a dime, make them go against him when they were rooting for him. Wanted to cheer along and do all his quotes, and he's just like, shut the fuck up, basically. And then they're like, oh, screw you. So definitely cool there. And then Shane jumps in. He shouldn't have jumped in right at the end of this promo. But he jumps in to get the final word in and says, Big Show, you got to watch out tomorrow night on Raw. So that's where we leave off heading into next week's episode, which is going to be covering the next week and a half of Raw, Raw and Heat, which will bring us to the following week, bring us to Backlash. So that's where we'll be heading over the next couple of weeks. We'll cover the middle of April next week, and then we'll wrap up April with Backlash the following week. But we do still have some Attitude Era stuff to talk about, especially the Corporation in the Ministry of Darkness. So starting on that Raw 305, and we've already kind of alluded to it because it kind of mixed into the storyline here with Austin, is that Stephanie gets kidnapped. And it starts when the Ministry surrounds Sable. Sable is out there. The Ministry comes out. Undertaker tells her to not be scared. So he comes out there and confronts Sable. And he tells Sable, I want to see what you got. So she starts like grinding. she starts doing like her stupid little grind thing that she does now at this point.
Yeah.
And then Taker just grabs her by the neck. He says, McMahon, I got your precious meal ticket. Come out here before I snap her neck. You better come out alone. So McMahon heads out as The Undertaker continues to keep his hand around Sable's neck. McMahon comes out and says, what kind of man are you? Then he yells, Stephanie! Like he realizes, oh shit, I left Stephanie alone. So he runs backstage. McMahon is backstage and all the guards are beat up. Stephanie's missing. Shane's standing there. Like, if in a horror movie, everyone's dead and there's the one guy that's like, I don't know how this happened. Like, you're the fucking suspect, man. So Shane's standing there like he doesn't know what's going on. I have no idea what happened. So Lola points out that the Acolytes were the only ones that didn't come down to the ring with The Undertaker. So the Acolytes must have caused all this havoc. So Undertaker calls McMahon on the phone later and says, she's really sugar and spice and everything nice. Ha 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 ha. And that just made me think of Freddy Krueger calling Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. It's like, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. When his tongue comes through the phone. That's what it reminded me of, Undertaker fucking with Vince McMahon.
They need to remake that movie like that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do it like that. That was a damn good movie. All right, so McMahon sends Ken Shamrock on a mission to look for Stephanie throughout the building. That's stupid, too. Like, she's got to be in this building. No, why wouldn't they just take her out of the fucking building? No, it's got to be in this building somewhere. So Shamrock comes asking, this is like you said earlier in the episode, Shamrock acting is like so shitty, and everybody around him sucks too. So they're not helping it look any better. Shamrock's asking everybody, do you see a girl with brown hair wearing a blue shirt? Hey, how about you? Do you see a girl, brown hair and blue shirt? How about you just say, have you seen fucking Stephanie McMahon?
Yeah, like they don't know who she is. I thought the same thing as I was watching. I'm like, this is. It's almost like the people are laughing.
Yeah, they are. They're just like, and why is there like 10 dudes all in one spot? He's asking all of them in a row
on each other. Yeah, like a row of dominoes.
And why would you ask the person right on the side of somebody that just said no? Like they're probably just together.
Like they didn't hear you. Yeah, it means I can't hear you, buddy.
Oh, I saw her though. So just a fucking bunch of dudes doing jack shit. That's what it looks like. They're just doing nothing. They should act like they've been working. Like at least on Raw today, they would be like doing something backstage. Like somebody would be like wheeling a cart or something, and Shamrock would go ask the guy. But these guys are just fucking leaning against the wall, doing nothing.
It's almost like they weren't in on it.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck's going on?
So
what's wrong with Ken Shamrock? Because they know who Ken Shamrock is.
Yeah. So The Rock's going to have a match just right after this, and Vince is going to tell Shane to go out to the ring with The Rock. So The Rock is in a match with Badass Billy Gunn. And they actually look pretty good in this match against each other. And Shane McMahon's on commentary, and he's just fucking obnoxious as usual. So Cole and Lawler keep reminding Shane that his sister's missing, because you would think that Shane would be acting kind of like sad about the situation, but he's out there doing his whole little frat boy routine, laughing and yeah. No, just fucking typical douchebaggery. And
totally
right.
Obnoxious.
So Lawler and Cole keep saying, your sister's missing. I don't know, maybe to like get him into the right mindset of how he's supposed to be acting, or it could be kind of what I was just saying moments ago, where he was backstage when everybody else was laid out and he was left perfectly fine and Stephanie's missing. So maybe there's something with that. Maybe he's in on it. Decent match between the two. Rock hits the rock bottom, gets people's elbow, gets the win. Which good, it should be clean like that. Because the Rock needs to look strong, of course. He lost the title the night before, but he's going for the title again. He's the main guy. So he can't be losing there. Again, Shamrock's going to have a match. He's going to kick the shit out of Gangrel, as he should, of course. We get Teddy Long as a referee here. And he can't calm down Shamrock. Shamrock wants to know where Stephanie is. And he's basically torturing the shit out of Gangrel, because Gangrel's part of the ministry, of course. So he's like, where is she? Where is she? And the crowd is bored. They don't even notice what's going on. They're even like kind of booing at times. And that's because they don't know what the hell's happening. They don't know that the story is Shamrock is torturing Gangrel trying to get information. But the audience has no clue of that if they're not watching on TV. They're in the crowd. They don't know what the fuck's being said. So that kind of sucked. Gangrel taps. The lights go out.
Yeah, they more than likely weren't airing all that content on the Titantron.
They had no idea. Yeah. So the Brood attacks Shamrock. Shamrock is covered in blood. He flips the shit when he sees that he's covered in blood. He puts an ankle lock on Christian. Christian's going to squeal and say that Stephanie's in the basement. So Shamrock's on the hunt. He's looking for Stephanie in the basement. Shamrock finds Stephanie just sitting on the ground in the basement, and he brings her back to Vince, and they're hugging. And McMahon's going to call them a bunch of rotten bastards. McMahon consoles Stephanie. The belt finally arrives. McMahon doesn't give a damn about the belt. He tells Shamrock that he's indebted to him and that Shane should just give Austin the title. All right, so that's kind of where we leave off with that until Heat. So now on Heat, on April 4th, there's an interview with Mr. McMahon and Stephanie live in Greenwich, Connecticut. And McMahon is has a portrait in the background. It's fucking. Did you notice it when you were watching?
No.
It's like a huge portrait of Vince McMahon, a painted portrait of Vince McMahon, like.
Yep.
Like as if it was like on the cover of like some love novel or something. Like the wind blowing.
Shitty picture.
Like big strong muscles. And it's like legit. It's in his house on his wall. Like it's not a gimmick. It's actually something that they rarely had in their house. And there's a similar style one of Linda McMahon too. Also in the house. And you can see that in the background behind Stephanie and Vince in a picture of Shane and Vince standing with each other as if like maybe Shane just graduated college or something. And in the background is the portrait of Linda in that photo. So they got some weird portraits up in that house.
Yeah, it's creepy family values there going on.
All right, so we're going to have this interview with Stephanie and Vince with Jerry Lawler. This is at 35 minutes to 40 minutes into the show. Jerry Lawler is going to ask Stephanie what happened to her. Vince is sitting beside Stephanie in their home, and Stephanie says she doesn't remember exactly what happened. Vince jumps in and says it started a while back with an envelope. And, if you remember, they had that envelope that they never really told us what was in it. Vince McMahon just received it and never opened it or never told us about it. When Paul Bearer came down with it, I believe, right? Yeah. So, he had that envelope, and then inside of it, Vince reveals that it was candid shots of Stephanie shopping, getting out of her car, and then even Stephanie in her bedroom. And then Vince McMahon reveals to us that the teddy bear was Stephanie's when she was a child, and it was in their house. So Jerry Lawler points out that someone must have broken your house and stole the teddy bear, and that's what kind of pissed McMahon off right away when he saw the bear, is that it's Stephanie's bear. It's from my house. How the hell they get it? And then they burned it. And so that made him sad because it was something she loved as a kid. So Stephanie says that she was all scared. There were strange things written on her mirror. And just listening to this, I thought, Stephanie, obviously it's her first time. She's young at this point, but she sounds like a daytime soap opera actress. And you can tell, like, Vince McMahon is jumping in, helping her out. When she, like, kind of stumbles on her lines and maybe forgets what she has to say, Vince jumps in sometimes and says, "You don't have to go there with this. You don't have to say anything." So he's like saving the day for her a little bit in some of these portions of the interview. So Lawler's going to bring up how they known the Undertaker for almost 10 years. You've known the Undertaker. McMahon says, he started off, he's starting to believe that he's this dead man character. So right here they're saying, it's just a gimmick. He's just Mark. We've known Mark for years. But now he's becoming this Undertaker. He thinks he's the Undertaker. He's changed. He's believing in his creation. Now he has followers that believe it too. Which I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of like it. I like that. It's like saying that, we understand. We know it's wrestling. We know characters are actors for the most part. But he's now becoming really the Undertaker.
Yeah. He's probably more the Undertaker than he's ever been. At this point right now. I love this Undertaker. I loved this shit.
Yeah, it's like horror movie shit. This feels...
Yeah.
I mean, not to hop on Nightmare on Elm Street again, but this kind of feels like Nightmare on Elm Street... not Nightmare on Elm Street, but the New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. When Freddy becomes a reality. Because people believe in the character of Freddy Krueger so much that it brought it to life.
Yeah, this has some like Halloween 6 in it and like Hellraiser.
Oh, Curse of Michael Myers Halloween. Yeah, with like the cult and shit. Yeah, you're right. So cool shit. Like it's nice horror movie shit here.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
McMahon said
this was a good Raw.
Oh yeah,
that's why I said top.
Oh, the Heat.
The Heat was good. I mean, the main event in Heat kind of sucked. But
yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah,
it was like Kane.
It was tag team. Yeah, tag team title match. Kane versus Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
But yeah, this interview is basically the main event. And then they go to the match. This is what people are really interested in. Yeah,
waiting for.
But McMahon says it's personal. It's not about business anymore. It's something strange, very wrong going on. And Stephanie says, the Undertaker was somebody that she grew up knowing and somebody that she knew. But now he's sending her pictures. And then Vince jumps in. Don't go there. Don't go there with that. So what is the Undertaker sending her dick pics or something? What the fuck's going on? What's the pictures?
How?
Yeah. Was he? He's taking Polaroids of his shot,
mailing them,
putting them in an envelope, mailing them over.
Yeah.
Oh,
kids nowadays be like, people used to do that. They didn't just send them from their fucking phone. Like, hey, got your phone number.
Nope, you had a hard copy picture of your dick.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if it wasn't a Polaroid, you'd have to go get it done at like CVS, and the people would see it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but the person that is handing you the pictures looked at them.
Saw them.
Because they had to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like the movie Photoshop? No. What the fuck is it? It's the Robin Williams movie. What the hell's the name of it?
I think Photoshop or something.
No. 24-hour photo? Something like that. Anyway, that movie. Creepy movie. So, yeah, Undertaker's now sending pictures, apparently. Stephanie says she doesn't feel safe anymore, and the only time she feels safe is when she's with her dad. Which, that line felt like, that's like an ominous line. Like, the only person you feel safe with is your dad, so maybe that's not the person you should be thinking that you should feel safe with. Did you get that vibe from that line? No,
not really.
Maybe it's just because I know that he becomes the greater power. So it's like he's causing all this shit to her right now. Like if they really, I don't know if they'll have like continuity with it, but if they do, then that means that he caused all this. He scared the shit out of his daughter for whatever reason. He's behind all this. And she's saying, "Oh, I trust my dad. I feel safe with my dad."
Yeah, and he's the psychopath behind it all.
Again, more true like horror writing right there.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about these storylines. Your imagination goes so many different ways with it, especially while you're watching it. Because you always kind of want to predict and see where a story's going to go. I think that's just like instinct when you watch something, at least for me, at least.
Absolutely.
And it allows so many different possibilities because the writing's so like strong.
Right. Like you said, it can go in any direction too. It's open-ended. So McMahon finally wraps it up. He says, if it doesn't stop, somebody's going to get hurt, and I'll be damned if it's going to be my daughter. So that concludes that portion of the storyline. You got the Big Show. Now he's feuding with the corporation because he's no longer part of the corporation. He was fired and he was put in jail at WrestleMania. So Big Show comes out here and he's going to have a match with Test, and he looks fucking awesome. He looks better than he ever has. He just has like trunks on and he looks jacked as shit. So he squashes Test with a giant chokeslam. Big Show cuts a promo on Vince for thinking that he's ever owned the Big Show. When I first arrived, you said everything's going to change. You, McMahon, you're going to eat those words, and that's the last word. So he is trying to make this his, like, that's the bottom line. You know, we talked about it last week, and he said, oh, it's probably something like Eric Bischoff had him use or whatever. And that he had in his, he just had as backup, like, oh, yeah, I want to use this line. And he's used it 2 weeks in a row, and it sucks. And that is the last word. So he fucking used it again. All right, so that's the Big Show. Corporation and DX feud continues on. On Raw 305, X-Pac cuts a promo. X-Pac brings out how he came back a year ago. He pulled things back together for DX, but last night everything changed. X-Pac claimed that DX will never die. Triple H and China reunited the previous night, as we mentioned earlier. And X-Pac says, tonight, Hunter, you are the hunted, pal. Tonight, your ass is grass, and I'm going to smoke it. So on Raw, they're going to have a match. X-Pac versus Triple H. Triple H comes out to the No Chance in Hell music as he's now part of the corporation. Shane is pretty funny at ringside here because he's like standing behind China the whole time because he's afraid of X-Pac. So he doesn't really want to be seen by X-Pac. So when the match ends after a DQ, X-Pac runs around the ring, chases Shane, and then he gets clotheslined. X-Pac gets clotheslined by China. She gives him a low blow. Triple H hits the pedigree on him. The lights go out. Kane comes out.
Poor X-Pac.
Kane comes out now, so it looks like they're starting to form a bond, or possibly will. Kane is pissed at China for turning on him at Mania. And he was trying to take care of her for weeks before, like after with the fireball incident. So Kane's kind of pissed at China, so he attacks Triple H. China's going to distract him. Shane gives Triple H a chair, and then they nail Kane with it. So they're fucking with Kane now. So looks like X-Pac and Kane could be siding with each other up against Shane, Triple H, and China.
Common enemy.
So on Heat from April 4th, 1999, Triple H cuts part of a promo with Shane and The Rock. Triple H comes out. He's wearing a DX shirt still. And Shane mentions that Triple H owns the rights to DX, which explains why he has the DX shirt on. So I thought that was a good thing to add because it would have made no sense. Like, he just left DX. Why is he wearing a DX shirt? But he says Triple H is the real leader, the owner of DX. It's all his. So Shane hands the mic to Triple H. Triple H says the name, the logo, the music's the crotch chop, the 2 words, the attitude, it's all mine. So he puts it all out there right now that DX, everything about it is me. Which pretty much is. I mean, other than, Shawn Michaels, of course. But for the past year, Triple H has been, the main thing. This is a funny quote from Triple H. 1, 2, 3 kid, the real Double J, Rockabilly, you wanted to be cool. You wanted to be big time. We got you over, China and I. We made the DX Army. Let's just face it. It's just 3 little boys playing G.I. Joe in their backyard. So Triple H, with his first promo at this level with the main eventers, cut a hell of a one. So he's kind of stepping out of his shadow that he had with Michaels, and he's stepping onto the main stage now. Because the past year as DX, Yeah, they were nothing really more than mid-carders, like upper mid-carders. That's it. Just involved in shenanigans and shit. But now he's stepping up to that next level, like I said. So he says he's gonna break him down. He's gonna break X-Pac down at Backlash. So that'll be coming up at Backlash. The IC title scene. Goldust is gonna win the title. You have during this match though, it's Road Dogg versus Goldust. Ryan Shamrock comes out, trips Goldust by accident, or maybe it was intentionally. We don't know, but Blue Meanie's pissed off. He tells her to get the hell out of here. He says, "Bye, skank. Bye, skank."
I laughed at this way more than anyone probably else would. This is so funny because I hate the Blue Meanie. I was like,
yeah, he got something from you, so you can't hate on him this week.
It's like if there's one role, there's one thing he could say that just like fits. It was that word.
Yeah. She just looked like a skank too, and the way her character's been, she's just hopping from guy to guy.
Yeah. She's definitely the definition of a skank. That's what they were looking for.
And Blue Meanie is sticking his tongue out at Ryan Shamrock, and then Jerry Lawler says, "She's not the kind of girl you stick a tongue out in, maybe, but not out." Look at Lola. You stick your tongue in her and not out at her. All right. The ref prevents Goldust from getting DQ'd with the Shattered Dreams by running in front of Road Dogg, which didn't make sense to me. Just let the guy get DQ'd. And don't influence the outcome of the damn match. So from there, Road Dogg bulldogs Meanie into Goldust nuts, which Meanie must have liked because he's been kind of excited about Goldust lately. Meanie hits Road Dogg with the belt. Goldust hits the curtain call. Goldust becomes 3-time Intercontinental Champion. So, there we have it. Goldust finally back on top of the IC title scene. And on Heat, April 4th, 1999, you got Val Venus versus Steve Blackman. Now, this would usually be something that I didn't want to talk about, but there's some things that made me want to talk about it. So, Val Venus is getting interviewed by some fucking goof Lucas from WWF.com. Fucking dweebo.
New talent.
Ryan Shamrock tries to hit on Val. He tells her basically to get the fuck out of here. Val tells her, it's been real, but never real good. And during this segment, I was looking at Ryan's eyebrows, just thinking, these eyebrows suck.
I didn't notice.
So my thought was, though, that was the style. Listeners might think, that's the style back in 1999. I was like, yeah, I know, I get it. I lived in 1999. I was in high school in 1999. And I remember thinking back in 1999, when girls had those eyebrows, I always thought, that girl's a fucking bitch. There's nothing wholesome about you. Yeah, it was the style, but it was a style for bitches back in 1999.
Yep. That's the personality that accompanied that style.
So Val goes out. He does this thing. The women are fucking going nuts. This is another thing I wanted to bring up. Women are fucking going nuts in the crowd. And it got me to thinking, 20 years have gone by. So, I guess it's a different crowd, different people that go to the shows now. But where's the hot chicks now? Where's the damn hot chicks? Maybe here and there you might see a hot MILF or something with their kids, but it's really just parents bringing their 7-year-old kids. You don't see the girls out screaming for AJ Styles or anybody.
Right.
They're not getting all jacked up for these wrestlers, which is just funny back then. And any of these girls would just go, fuck these guys. A bunch of whores out in the crowd back then.
Probably still out
today. But undercover, they were out there before, back in 99.
Undercover who is?
Undercover who is? And the flip side of that is today, all the guys are the ones in the crowd jacked up to see the wrestlers. Yeah. Men, not just, 19-year-old kids back in 99. Yeah. Now it's 35-year-old dudes out there.
That's the reason why I feel weird about sports now and stuff, cheering very hard for players.
Yeah, because they're kids.
These guys are kids.
Right.
They're younger than me.
Yeah, and I don't want to get mad at them if they mess up because they're a kid.
Yeah. Like, oh, the dude's 22. Like,
Right.
if, like, you know, Ezekiel Elliott, someone goes out partying there, everyone's like, oh, they can't be living like that. I'm like, dude, they're 23, 24 years old, prime of their life, peak physical condition.
Right, making a bunch of money. They're superstars.
And they're rich.
Right.
And they're rich. What do you expect? Like, they should go home and just be, like,
Yeah, fuck
good
that.
players. Fuck no.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that.
They were blessed, worked their ass off to get all that party. But fuck. Who cares if they're at the club till 3 in the morning?
Oh, man. Yeah, fucking crazy. So, Val Venus he's gonna retain, whatever. But those are the main things I wanted to bring up with that. Just those things came to my mind when watching this match. Just watching a fucking Val Venus versus Steve Blackman match made me think of all those different things. Val hits the money shot, and then Blackman's gonna kind of turn heel at the end of this match, just go nuts. Start hitting him with the kendo sticks, which were kind of like jumbo glow sticks. They were like neon kendo sticks, which again, 1999 glow sticks were all the fucking craze back then.
Talk of the town.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, people would bring them into schools like, you ain't going no fucking dances or raves and shit. Why the hell you got glow sticks in your car? Like, what the hell you doing? You practicing glow sticks in your room with the lights off? That's what the hell you're doing with glow sticks. That's what I thought. Anyway, they probably could have been getting laid and all a bunch of shit. And just because I wasn't, I thought nobody was.
Just bring the rest of the world into relation.
Yeah. All right, so hardcore title. Hardcore Holly's going to retain the title against Dr. Death because Al Snow's going to interfere and hit Dr. Death with a frying pan, which is fucking great. Oh, man. Tag team title scene. This is kind of what brings us to the main event of Heat. They're going to get a title match first on Raw. It's going to be Jarrett and Owen Hart against the Legion of Doom, who's returning with Paul Ellering. The previous week, Briscoe and Patterson dressed up as LLD and made fun of them. But Jarrett and Hart retained the titles at Mania by defeating D'Lo and Test, who won that Battle Royal, which made them strange partners. LLD hits the Doomsday device, but Tim White is distracted. Jarrett nails Animal with a guitar. Owen Hart gets the pin to retain. On Heat 404, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett are going to present an open challenge for the title. Kane comes out, and Kane wants the match. And it's going to be a handicap match. So that comes at the main event of Heat from April 4th. Kane controls much of the match. Kane's going to hit a nice double suplex. Kane choke slams Double J. Moments later, Kane is about to hit Owen with a choke slam. But Double J hits Kane with the guitar, and they get a DQ finish, so they retain. Owen Hart and Jarrett double team Kane. X-Pac's going to come out to make the save. They clear the ring, and Kane and X-Pac look at each other. Kane, as if they're about to like embrace and be like, yeah, baby. But Kane just grabs him by the neck, grabs him by the throat, and then moments later he lets him go. He steps out of the ring, and then the show ends as they're looking at each other. So, again, that's building there with them. Looks like they're about to be partners. And then the last thing basically is Sable. And nothing really. Sable retained her championship because Nicole Bass made her debut at WrestleMania. And Sable's out with new ring gear. She's got like this police outfit on. It looks fucking pretty hot. And she's doing her grind. Her little shimmy and it has a name. It's called The Grind. And she's in a tag team match with Jacqueline against Tori and Ivory. And she causes her own team to lose by hitting Jacqueline. So, because she doesn't care about the ladies. She only cares about the men. And then that's when Undertaker comes out and chokes her and gets McMahon to come running out. Because he's threatening the meal tickets, which is Sable. And then on Heat, Jacqueline is in a match against Tori. It's a shitty-ass match, of course. And Terry is going to poke a cigar on Ivory. And that's about it. All right, so one other thing I did want to bring up before we wrap things up here is a vignette of a new wrestler coming to the WWF, Beaver Cleavage. Now, this is one of the worst gimmicks of all time.
Ever.
Yes. But the mother is fucking hot.
Yes.
And she's not in this first vignette. This is just a simple vignette. It's just showing a house, like a house that would be in Leave It to Beaver. So it's like a modern day, it's a modern cape and it has an addition on it. It has a 1950s car in the driveway. It's in black and white, and it's just playing like old 50s type style music, and it says Beaver Cleavage coming, whatever. So I want to see these promos as they go on. So I'm going to keep up with those in the in this Attitude Update portion. Once he starts wrestling, fuck it. But I like the vignettes.
I'm sold on those.
All right, so let's wrap things up here. JV, do you have anything to say before we move on to wrapping things up?
I do not.
All right, so on the house show rundown, there is nothing because really we just covered WrestleMania last week. That's where we left off. We did Raw, and then we did Heat. Heat was taped the night after the live Raw, so nothing happened. It's only been 2 days, so there's no house shows. Let's move on to our Oh Hell Yeah moment of the week. JV, I'll start with you. Oh hell yeah.
My oh hell yeah moment of the week is when The Rock shows up with the Smoking Skull title on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's a great moment. Because now the belt.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty wild because, he's looking for it. And just the way that whole segment gets set up, I thought was cool.
Yeah, right.
How Shane kind of takes control and defies his dad's orders. And
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm not even gonna try to find something else because that is the best part of the show is Austin, who wants that title back, and his fucking arch rival comes walking out with it, strutting out with it. Like, nah, it's mine now. My belt. My belt now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Definitely right there.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell no. What would you say?
Well, my oh hell no is kind of a hell yeah.
All right.
Because it's bad. But it works with the blue beanie part when he's calling her skank.
Oh, you're still giving him.
Yeah.
Oh hell no! Even though he did something good that you liked.
I liked it, but and I really just
It's
wanted
still
to bring it
hell
up in
no.
one of the moments again. So it fits. I could justify it.
My oh hell no moment of the week is going to be Ken Shamrock searching for Stephanie McMahon. Just the pure stupidity of asking the people, "Oh, did you find the girl with the brown hair and the blue shirt?"
I'm gonna agree with you there. That's a good one.
That was definitely oh hell no. And he's walking around with blood all around him, and he's just kicking shit. He's like kicking garbage cans, like little ones, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
He's just kicking those. So that's definitely my oh hell no for the week. So let's continue on with our bottom line wrap up as I get back to where I am here. So we got the episode coming up next week on September 4th. It's going to be episode 46, and we're going to continue on here, and we'll get through Raw from April 5th all the way up to Raw from April 12th. So we'll do the Heat in between there also. And then the following week, we'll cover the next week leading up to Backlash. All right, so like I said, guys, we got a lot more things going on right now that we're not able to, jam-pack the shows as much. But with that said, they might be a little shorter, which might be even better for you to listen to. So, that's kind of how we're going to do it for a little while here as we kind of get back in routines and get things going here. So
Labor Day coming up.
Yep.
You're back to work.
Yeah. So our scheduling is kind of off, and the watching of the episodes and the note taking is, there's not as much time for it
difficult.
right now. So.
Labor Day weekend's coming up. We're adults.
Right.
Yeah. We got shit going on.
Yep.
This isn't our full-time job.
But we'll definitely have an episode continuation
for sure
from where we left off. So there'll be some continuation next week, and hopefully it's April 5th through April 12th. So that'll be next week, guys. So thanks for listening, and keep up with us. But we also want you to check out some of our podcast pals like Talking Taker. Okay, Talking Taker is a podcast where they break down the career of The Undertaker from all the way back to 1990 up to where they are right now in 2004. They're releasing episode 107 tomorrow. They'll be covering Armageddon 2004, the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Championship, JBL versus The Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero versus Booker T. So they'll be covering that tomorrow on Talking Taker. So take a quick listen to Alex Dorio describe the show to you.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
All right, so be sure to check out Talking Taker every Thursday. Also, check out Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. That's Mike Mills, Hardbody Hopper, and Doc Turner, where they break down on Thursdays, NWA, WCW Saturday nights from currently 1988, and this week is their April 30th, 1988 episode. On Sundays, they drop the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap, and they're currently at episode 158, February 4th, 1995. So that'll be coming out on Sunday. Okay, also, if you want to free your geek, check out Free Your Geek with our friends Jay Free and KB. On this past week's episode 76, their episode was entitled Jedi Masters of the Universe. So they'll be discussing Spider-Man leaving the MCU. They're going to talk about the new Masters of the Universe movie in the works. And they'll also talk about Seth Rogen discussing The Boys season number 2. So that's on Free Your Geek this week, episode 76. And again, JV and I also do the Extreme ECW livecast, which is on the Book in the Territory Patreon feed. So patreon.com/Book in the Territory. On the $5 tier, you can get more JV and Mike covering ECW. And this week, we are covering episodes 13 and 14 of Hardcore TV, which is June 29th, 1993, and July 6th, 1993. You can reach out to us on Twitter.
Cut.
I'm at MPRU83.
Cut.
Again, that's MPRU83. JV is at John Van Damage, and we are at Bottom Line Cast.
Cut.
If you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star review, leave a nice comment. That greatly helps out, I think. So at least it makes us feel good if you do that. So please consider doing that. And if you want to tell your friends about the show, just tell them it's Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. They can type it into Google and it'll come up. Whatever podcast provider they use, we will come up. So tell them about it. Tell all your friends. Bottom Line Wrestling Cast.
We're easy to find.
Yes, we're out there now. So check us out. We'll tell your friends to check us out. You're obviously checking us out. It's the fucking end of the episode. All right, let's wrap things up here. JV, you got any final words?
No final words tonight.
All right. I'm Mike Prue along with JV. We are out of here, and we'll be back next week. So long.